Hey, welcome back to part two of the Euro mount. This one, as I said in the last video, I'm not very good at this. I'm getting to learn this. I'm starting to get a little more comfortable with this new program that I'm working with. As I get more into this, I'm hoping that my sound quality, I'll get better mics and those kind of things. But for the most part, I'm doing this for fun. So I want to show people the second step, which is boiling. We'll go through the process. We have a little interview with John himself, who actually took the animal, and kind of just an overall overview of what to do when you're doing these boils. So in this next step, we're going to be boiling. And I did have some problems with my actual propane heater outside that's attached to my grill. Last year I did one and had no problem. Today it just didn't seem that hot in these videos. So we ended up switching to the stove top after a while because I was outside for 8 hours, and then I ended up finishing it on the stove top and here on a smaller pan. And I really think the smaller pan was the key. Last year I didn't need a smaller pan. I've used this pan for 100 boils. Big thing I want to go overall is that you really need to do a low simmer. That's something that we're looking for. I use Dawn dishwashing detergent in. It's a degreaser, and it kind of breaks down the fat a little bit and helps clean the skull out a little bit. So I pour a couple of good squirts into the pan while we're doing this. Keep it at a simmer. You want it to come up and have some bubbles, and then turn it down. You don't want to rolling boil. I've made that mistake, and it can actually tear apart all the connective tissue in the skull, and then you can get cracks and things like that. So you keep it low boil. You have to take it out from time to time, clean out some of the meat, clean out the brains, make sure that's clean, because it's important. You need to know, is anything left in the skull will discolor that skull later, and you won't be that happy with it. For some of my stuff, I don't care as much, but if I'm doing this for people, I like to do it right. And then at the end, I pour in a big bottle of hydrogen peroxide. I tape off the horns to try to protect them, and just allow just the skull to go into the water. Be careful, hydrogen peroxide will decrease the boiling point, and also you start getting foaming and bubbling, so you have to watch that heat. And it takes about 20 minutes to whiten it up, and looks pretty good when you're all done. So without further ado, we'll finish this video, and then we'll do part 3, which is the actual laser engraving and making the backsplash and all that kind of stuff. And hopefully you find this informative and not too boring. So you have a good day, and without further ado, let's continue. All right, we're checking on our progress here. Like I said, we gotta have a good 4-hour simmer on it. I probably have another 4 hours to go. Forgot to mention there's Dawn dishwashing liquid in there, and that's a degreaser. All right, I've been out here before. I took the other horns out. I'm having a heat problem. I've picked some of the stuff out, got some of the meat out. It's just not boiling and staying hot. I got some of the brains out. I shoved a hose in there and blew it out. I'm just gonna leave it sit for a little while longer. I'm gonna have to shut her down for the night. I don't know if it's this thing. It was last time. I was really good. We had good flame, but I'm not getting good flame. This kind of flame. Anyway, I've been taking it over here. Throwing it in there. I've got all these tools I've been using. There's the horns. They came out pretty good. I'm not going to sweat those too much. So, well, there we go. Hopefully I can edit this out. This bubbling, I've been all day. It's just not hot. I don't know if the dishwashing is here. Last year this thing boiled too much. We had to turn it down. But this year, I'm not getting the same. See, I'm not getting any boiling. Nothing. So I don't know if dishwashing detergent has I mean, there's some simmer. I'm gonna run it for a little while longer, and then we're gonna cut it down. We're done. I'll try to scrape stuff out myself and see what happens. Okay, we boiled this thing for hours, and I just couldn't get it hot enough. I spent a lot of time picking at things, and then I just left it and took it out overnight. We're gonna have to reboil it. It's not as clean as I would like it to be after. No, it was probably 8:30 to 5 o'clock. Non-stop, so about 8 hours. It just never got hot enough. So I'm gonna put this in. At least we don't have any broken bones. Just pulling out that, trying to get that clean. I've done this before quite a few times. There's just an example of some of the ones that I've done in the past. It's the Four Horsemen, we call it. Typical Wisconsin deer. So most of the stuff came off. So I'm reboiling it just by the blackness on the bottom. I don't know if the propane was bad or what was going on, but I was not getting a good boil outside. So I scraped a lot of the stuff off, and I'm reboiling it inside the house. I just turned it down because it was going too much. And I have a better pan. So this starts simmering, and I'm already seeing more stuff bubble off that's supposed to. So one, I don't think the pan, the tall one, is too big. When it comes to the fire out there, just, I don't know, it just never got hot enough. So I don't know if it's a regulator or what. But used it last year. I'm going to get a new turkey fryer, and maybe it'll be better. But right now I'm boiling it out for another couple hours, and I'll finish cleaning it off, and we'll boil it in hydrogen peroxide, and then I'll start working eventually on backsplash that's going to go on it. So we'll continue. Here you go. This is the continued European mount. Night and day difference. I just pulled the grain sack out with that. I've been pulling tons of meat out now out of here with this here. I'll let this cook for a little while and then we'll pull some more out. It's just hard for me to film and do the same thing, but I'm just pulling it off with this. And the reason I'm not going at a full roar pull, you want it hot enough, but I don't want to destroy the integrity of the skull. So I just pulled a chunk of meat off this nose here. That was not coming out. There's stuff coming off the skull, stuff coming out the back. So most of the stuff on the inside is almost completely gone, and that's what you want. Because if you leave it in there, it'll discolor the skull down the line. Well, here we are. We're pulling little bits off here. We've been pulling little bits with these teeth. So pretty soon I'm just gonna put the hydrogen peroxide in, and we'll clean it up. We'll wrap the antlers. Just hosed it out, so you want to do that also. Take it outside. Hopefully it's warm out. Alright, now we're going to boil in the hydrogen peroxide. And this is some press and seal stuff. It'll wrap around it. We'll end up having to touch it up with some stuff, but I'm just trying to protect the horns as much as possible. There it is, press and seal. And the longer you leave it in, the whiter it gets. But I think it's white enough. I like to retain some. It's already gotten through a little bit and starting to bleach it out. I'm going to have to touch that up. It's gotten the teeth. I just don't want anything to... I want white, and that's good. But we also don't want it to fall apart, so I think we're pretty good. There's the vat. We'll take it downstairs to dry. So basically this is what I do. I use slabs and I make bowl holders and things to hook things on. So these are some of the ones I've made in the past. I didn't bleach these. Just in case you want to know, didn't bleach them, and that's okay. Didn't care about bleaching a lot of them. Sometimes like that one I overcooked and that whole piece fell out. Much I can do about it. Sad, but these are just some of the small ones. That's what we do. Alright, the next one we're going to do after this one is going to be his backdrop. So as you can see, let's take a look at this one. This backdrop here is slab wood, and I have a ton of it because of a sawmill. And I got this from my friend Rick. And I have my own now. It's kind of neat. I like the idea. And so that's where a lot of our stuff is going to go. Out of this stuff, here's a buffalo I got when I was bow hunting. That's my son. Had a really good year when he was younger, crossbowing and bow hunting. It's my son's, and a lot of that's my dad's, and other deer that we shot. Big ones are upstairs, so we'll look at those some other time. So again, from Rough Cut Creations, this is Pat. We'll see you when we start working on the other part.